Google just dropped the 2026 core update for Flow, and it is actually insane. We aren't just talking about a few new buttons or a prettier interface. We are talking about a total architectural shift in how Google apps communicate with each other. If you felt like the first version was a productivity hack, this version is an entire operating system for your professional life. I've spent the last 72 hours stress testing the new neural sync and the contextual trigger system, and I can tell you right now, the gap between people using Flow and people still clicking between tabs manually is about to become a chasm. Today, I'm going to give you the full, high-speed walkthrough of the new update. No fluff. Just the specific changes that are going to save you 10 hours a week and the exact setup you need to turn your Google Workspace into a self-managing machine. If you want to stop being the middleman for your own data, pay attention. This is the new standard. If you find these workflows helpful, hit subscribe. I drop these deep dives every single week to keep you ahead of the curve while everyone else is still stuck in 2024. Now let's start with the biggest change, the move from static automation to predictive logic. In the old version of Flow, you had to tell the system exactly what to do. You had to build the pipes yourself. If I get an invoice in Gmail, move it to this folder in Drive. It was better than nothing, but it was still rigid. If the invoice looked a little different, the pipe would break. The 2026 update introduces Flow Intelligence, powered by the new Gemini 3 core. Now, Flow doesn't wait for your instructions. It understands the intent of your work based on the history of your entire workspace. Imagine you're starting a new client project. In the past, you'd spend 30 minutes creating a folder, a project brief in Docs, a tracking sheet in Sheets, and an intro email. With the new Flow update, the moment you label a single email as active client, Flow creates that entire ecosystem for you in the background. It doesn't just create blank files. It pulls the client's logo from their website, populates the sheet with their contact info it found in the email signature, and drafts the kickoff document using your standard brand guidelines and previous successful project templates. It isn't just automated, it is aware. It knows what a project looks like for you, and it builds the infrastructure while you're still finishing your coffee. You aren't the builder anymore, you're the supervisor. But where this really gets insane is the new cross-app data sync. This is the feature everyone was screaming for in the comments of my last video. Previously, if you updated a number in a Google Sheet, you had to manually go and update that same number in your Google Slides presentation or your monthly report in Docs. That is a massive waste of human potential. In the new Flow update, every piece of data is live linked across the entire workspace using a technology they call entity mapping. If I change the projected revenue cell in my master spreadsheet, Flow detects every single document in my drive that mentions that specific metric and updates it in real time. No more outdated version errors, no more sending a report to an investor with last week's numbers. Your entire business becomes one single, synchronized source of truth. If you edit a deadline in your calendar, it updates the deadline column in your project tracker and sends a notification to the relevant team members on chat automatically. It's like having a nervous system for your business where every part knows what the other part is doing. Let's walk through the actual setup, because if you don't toggle these 3 specific settings, you're just using a glorified version of Zapier and missing 90% of the power. Open your Google Flow dashboard and look for the Neural Bridge tab in the left sidebar. This is the 2026 engine. You need to enable semantic indexing. This allows Flow to actually read and understand the content of your files, not just the titles or metadata. I know some of you might flinch at the privacy aspect, but let's be clear. This is a private, encrypted instance within your workspace. Google isn't using your client's proprietary data to train public models. It's using it to learn your specific business logic so it can serve you better. Once semantic indexing is on, go to your trigger gallery. You'll see a new option called multivariable triggers. This is the game changer for high-level workflows. In the old days, a trigger was a single, lonely event. Now, a trigger can be a complex condition. For example, you can set a flow that says, when a project is 80% complete in my tracking sheet, and we are within 48 hours of the deadline, and the client hasn't replied to the last check-in, automatically draft a urgent status update email and ping me on Google Chat with a summary of the remaining tasks. Flow is now monitoring the relationship between your data points. It's acting as a proactive project manager that never sleeps and never forgets. Let's talk about the Flow dashboard itself, because the interface has been completely redesigned for 2026 to reduce cognitive load. They've removed the app grid and replaced it with what they call active streams. Instead of seeing a list of icons for Gmail, Sheets, and Docs, which forces your brain to think about software, you see a list of projects or goals. When you click on a project stream, Flow pulls in every relevant email, every spreadsheet row, and every calendar event into one single, unified view. You don't open an app anymore. You open a goal. It's a subtle shift in design that completely eliminates the tab switching fatigue that kills your focus. You stay in the flow, literally, because the tools have moved out of the way. Now, I want to be very real with you about the transition phase. For the first few days, the predictive logic is going to feel a bit aggressive, maybe even a little creepy. It might draft a document you didn't quite need yet, or suggest a meeting you weren't ready for. Treat the first week like an internship phase. When Flow suggests something, don't just ignore it. Correct it. If it drafts a reply in a tone that's too formal, use the refine bubble to tell it. Always be more conversational and casual with this specific client. The system learns from your corrections faster than any human assistant ever could. By week 3, it will be operating with about 95% accuracy, essentially becoming a digital clone of your work habits. There is also the new Legacy Bridge feature. If you have old spreadsheets from 2022 or 2023 that are a mess of broken formulas and unformatted data, you can run the Flow Cleanup tool. It doesn't just fix the formulas. It restructures the data to be Flow compatible. It identifies patterns in your old work and asks if you want to turn those patterns into permanent automations. It is the easiest way to modernize a business that has years of digital junk holding it back. If you are still managing your business by manually moving data from one window to another, you are working a second full-time job that you aren't getting paid for. You are a data entry clerk for yourself. The 2026 Google Flow update isn't just a software patch, it's a lifestyle change for anyone who lives in the Google ecosystem. It removes the busy work so you can actually do the creative work. It moves you from the engine room to the captain's chair. The sequel is officially better than the original. The update is live, the neural bridge is the secret, and the time you're going to save is real. Most people will watch this, think, that's cool, and go back to their 30 open tabs and their archive button. Don't be that person. Go into your settings right now, enable the semantic indexing, and let the machine start doing the heavy lifting. If this walkthrough helped you make sense of the 2026 chaos, hit subscribe and join the community. I'm building a library of these high-leverage workflows to help you build a leaner, faster, and more profitable business without the overhead of a massive team. Hit the bell so you catch the next deep dive because I'm looking at the new Microsoft Copilot 2.0 update next week, and the competition is getting fierce. I'll see you in the next one. Stop clicking, start flowing. I'm out.